The grand ballroom of the Aurora Grand Hotel was glowing with crystal chandeliers, expensive decorations, and hundreds of powerful people dressed in designer suits and elegant gowns. It was the most important business gala of the year, an event where CEOs, investors, and government officials gathered to celebrate success and create new partnerships. At the center of it all was Victoria Sterling, the young and ambitious CEO of Sterling Technologies. Victoria had built her company from a small startup into one of the fastest-growing defense technology companies in the world. She was respected for her intelligence, her determination, and her ability to make difficult decisions. But many people also knew her as someone who valued success above everything else. She believed professionalism meant perfection, and she had little patience for anything that damaged her carefully created image. That evening, Victoria was preparing for the announcement of the biggest contract in her company's history. A $1.2 billion defense technology agreement was expected to be signed within days. Winning the deal would make Sterling Technologies one of the most powerful companies in the industry. While executives and wealthy guests enjoyed the evening, a quiet man entered the ballroom carrying a simple folder. His name was Ethan Brooks. Unlike everyone around him, Ethan was not wearing an expensive suit. He wore a clean but modest jacket, and beside him stood his 8-year-old daughter, Lily. Ethan was a single father who had spent years raising his daughter while working hard as an engineer. He was not famous, wealthy, or connected to powerful people, but he possessed something rare, incredible talent and honesty. Ethan had been invited because he was a consultant who had helped develop a critical security system related to the defense contract. However, because of a misunderstanding, his name was missing from the official guest list. As Ethan approached the entrance, security stopped him. "Your name is not showing on the list," the guard said. Ethan politely explained that he had been invited by the technical team. Before the guard could respond, Victoria noticed the situation from across the room. She walked over, already frustrated. "What is the problem?" The guard explained. Victoria looked at Ethan and Lily. She noticed his simple clothing and immediately assumed he was someone who had entered without permission. "This is a private business event," Victoria said coldly. Ethan remained calm. "I understand. I believe there has been a mistake." Victoria looked at the folder in his hand. "Everyone here has a reason to be here. This is not a place for people to walk in and cause confusion." The words embarrassed Ethan, but he stayed respectful. "My name is Ethan Brooks. I was invited because of my work on the security project." Victoria did not recognize the name. "Security will handle this." Lily looked at her father with sadness. "Dad, can we just leave?" Her words made several people nearby look uncomfortable. Ethan gently held her hand. "It's okay." But Victoria still believed she was protecting her event. "I'm sorry, but you need to leave." The room became silent. Some guests looked away. Some whispered. Ethan picked up his folder and nodded. "I hope you have a successful evening, Ms. Sterling." Then he walked away with his daughter. Victoria returned to the event, believing she had removed an unwanted problem. She had no idea that the man she had just embarrassed was connected to the most important deal of her career, and she had no idea that the decision she made in front of hundreds of people would soon cost her more than her reputation. The next morning, Victoria arrived at Sterling Technologies expecting another successful day. Her team was preparing the final presentation for the $1.2 billion defense contract, and everyone believed victory was guaranteed. But when Victoria entered the conference room, she immediately noticed something was wrong. Her executives looked nervous. "What happened?" she asked. The head of the legal department placed a document on the table. "The defense committee has postponed the final decision." Victoria frowned. "Why?" The executive hesitated. "They requested a review of the technical team involved in the project." Victoria looked confused. "The technology is flawless. That's not the issue." He paused. "The issue is Ethan Brooks." Victoria froze. "The same name from the gala. What about him?" The executive explained that Ethan was not just a consultant. He was the original architect behind the security system that made their proposal unique. His research had been the reason their company became the leading candidate for the contract. Victoria felt a sudden wave of regret. "You mean the man from last night?" Everyone in the room became quiet. "Yes." She remembered Ethan standing there with his daughter. She remembered his calm expression. She remembered how quickly she judged him. The defense committee had learned about the incident at the Gala. They questioned whether Sterling Technologies respected the people who helped build its success. Victoria immediately tried contacting Ethan, but he refused to answer. Meanwhile, Ethan returned to his small home with Lily. He never told his daughter how hurt he felt. He simply focused on making breakfast, helping with homework, and continuing his work. But deep inside, Ethan was disappointed. Not because he had been removed from a party, because he had been judged before anyone knew who he was. Days passed, and Victoria's company began losing support. Investors became nervous. The contract was placed on hold. Victoria finally decided to visit Ethan personally. She found him working in a small office at a community technology center where he volunteered, teaching young students. When Ethan saw her, he looked surprised. "Miss Sterling." Victoria lowered her pride. "I came to apologize." Ethan remained quiet. "I was wrong about you," she continued. "I judged you without knowing your story." Ethan looked at her. "Why does my story matter now?" The question hurt because she knew the answer. Before, his value was invisible to her. Now, his importance was connected to billions of dollars. "I deserve that question," Victoria said. Ethan looked at his daughter, then back at Victoria. "I don't want revenge. I just want respect." Victoria realized something important. The biggest mistake she had made was not losing the contract. It was forgetting that every person deserved dignity. She asked Ethan for one chance to fix things. After a long silence, he agreed to meet with the defense committee and explain the technology, but he made one condition. The people who create success should not be invisible. Victoria accepted. For the first time in years, she stopped thinking like only a CEO. She started thinking like a leader. The final meeting for the $1.2 billion defense contract became the most important moment of Victoria Sterling's career. Representatives from the defense committee, investors, and company executives gathered in a large conference room. Everyone expected a presentation about technology. Instead, Victoria began with an apology. "Before we discuss our project, I need to acknowledge a mistake." The room became silent. She explained what happened at the gala and admitted that she had judged Ethan without knowing his value. "I believed success was about protecting my company's image," she said. "But I forgot that companies are built by people." Then she invited Ethan forward. Ethan presented the technology with confidence and explained the ideas behind the system. The committee listened carefully, because they were not just hearing about a product. They were hearing from the person who created it. By the end of the meeting, the committee approved the contract. But something unexpected happened. Ethan did not ask for money or recognition. Instead, he requested that the company create a program to support talented engineers from ordinary backgrounds. Victoria agreed immediately. Months later, Sterling Technologies changed completely. The company became known not only for innovation but also for respecting people. Employees felt valued. Young engineers received opportunities. Ethan became a respected partner, not an overlooked worker. Victoria and Ethan also developed a strong friendship built on honesty and mutual respect. One evening, Victoria visited Ethan and Lily. Lily smiled. "You're the lady from the party." Victoria laughed softly. "Yes, I'm the lady who made a big mistake." Lily looked at her. "But you fixed it." Victoria smiled. "That was because your father gave me the chance." Ethan looked at the two of them and realized something. Sometimes the greatest lessons come from the people we almost ignore. Victoria once thought power came from being the most important person in the room, but she learned that true leadership came from recognizing the importance of everyone else. The $1.2 billion contract changed her company, but Ethan Brooks changed her heart, and that was worth far more than money. Story lesson: never judge someone by their appearance, because every person carries a story you may not know. Respect and kindness can open doors that money and power never can. True success is measured by how you treat people when you have nothing to gain.